So how do I do this? I hope everyone can hear me. Good morning, everyone. Good evening. There you go. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, hi!
Hi! This is so fun.
I've already been the one like accepting people's requests. I haven't started my own and requested from people, so I don't know how this works. But good on you making it happen.
This is really simple. It's just this easy. I don't even think I've ever done like the other end of it. Actually,
Okay.
no, I must have. But it's crazy how easy this thing is, and how much it can like brighten people's days.
I know. Well, I've been watching people's lives all the time, basically.
Really?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
have you been watching?
Well, I've been watching workout videos without working out. Like, it must be doing something. I'm watching it.
What do you mean? You just sit there and you just
sometimes. Well, I'm really
Okay.
just like silently, applauding the people who could do it and just like being like, wow, that woman's fit, good job. Wow, that looks hard. Yeah, wow. And I feel like I've done something. I get up from the couch and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you been like working out at all?
No. Well, no, that's not true. Once every couple of days, I do a few squats.
There you go. But you live right here. Like, just go up and down the hill. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I do. Now is a little weird to walk, but I realize that it's nice because there aren't many people around here. So I do take a stroll occasionally, and it is kind of like a hike just walking around here because it's so up and down.
Your particular hill is one of my like, okay, I hate this fucking hill, but I'm gonna do it.
Right.
It's
don't
like,
say which hill it is so people don't exactly know where we live.
So at right around no, we live really close to one another. We're practically neighbors.
Yeah.
And which we didn't know until
you suddenly strolled down my street. And I was like,
yeah, exactly. And now every time I go there, it's your hill. But it's a good one. You should definitely take advantage of it. And
that's true. It's more
person.
that I like. It's just that I don't like working out in general. So I have a very hard time sort of, just motivating myself to be like, okay, and we're going to work out. Like if it's something I love doing, I'm a physical person. I like doing physical stuff if there's like a purpose to it.
Yeah.
But just working out for the sake of working out, it's hard to get motivated. So I'm just really proud of the people who are doing it, Are you working out?
I love working out. I grew up.
I wish I was that person.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like for me, because I grew up dancing, it's like it's in me to need to move my body, or I feel like it feels unhealthy to me when I don't.
Right. It is unhealthy.
It's like I do other things that are unhealthy for me, but that's the one thing that like if a week goes by and I haven't done anything at all, like I physically feel ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you're probably one of those people who like also looks really good doing it, while I look like a soggy noodle. Not good. Yeah. Maybe if I looked great while doing it, I'd be more motivated. I was like, here's a way to make myself like flush and like this beautiful dew. No, that's not what happens. I
highly doubt that.
I promise you. I'll send you a picture later.
I can't wait. I would love.
Well, next time I actually have to move for anything.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. I grew up dancing as well. Dance I actually love. It's really funny because I have one of my best friend, basically, she's very athletic. So she was always doing like team sports and she's very good. It's like her muscles are built for that. My muscles hate that. Like, it's like my bones just don't want to do it. They're just like, no, that doesn't feel right for you at all. But then we one time went to this like dance class thing. And I, as out of shape as I was like, my muscles knew what they were doing because I grew up dancing.
Yeah.
So that actually came really easy. And she was a sweaty this, and I was like, ah.
So maybe that's the trick. You just have to find a good
Absolutely. I thought about taking a dance class. It's just getting myself motivated to, like, again, leave the house for that. I'm good at jumping around my house to music.
There you go.
You know, that I like.
That's movement.
Like dancing like a moron around my living room. That's great. Love that.
Who doesn't like that?
I'm sure there's someone.
I mean, that sounds like heaven to me.
Right.
But you know, I've been trying to find a good dance class here, and it's really challenging because we live in Los Angeles, and some of the best dancers in the world live here as well.
Yes, I know. It's really like
the level.
Here starts the soggy noodle problem again.
Yeah. So I have had some of the most, I don't want to say embarrassing because it's really hard.
You're brilliant.
I know it was.
I'm sure you are.
In the background, just like trying to shovel.
Why are you doing that? You're like, I'm the one that plays the tree and the
yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like just me in the background trying to get out of the room, but it's like
that's not true. Okay, we'll go together one time. You'll see, but it's, you know, okay, all right, we'll go and we'll take a picture of ourselves afterwards.
It would be hilarious.
Yeah, no, what's nice was the one dance class I did go to. What I really did enjoy about it was, and I'm not there anymore only because I moved, but it was really people of all. What are you burning sage? What are you doing?
No, this is Salo Alto. What do you guys call it?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I just heard you say like Palo Alto.
Palo Alto? No. How do you say it?
I don't know.
It's one of those. Maybe someone will notice what it is. I don't know. Maybe not. The Israelis won't know.
Well, the Israelis are yelling at us שאנחנו לא מדברות עברית.
למה?
בכוונה קבענו את זה לשעה שאתם תהיו ערים עדיין, אז רק שתדעו שחשבנו עליכם.
We always do. אנחנו תמיד חושבות עליהם, אבל we also have a lot of audience that doesn't speak Hebrew.
Right.
So we'll probably go in and out. Palo Santo is the name of it. Thank you.
Thank you, whoever you are. What is it?
It's kind of like incense, yeah, but or sage. I guess it's more like sage, but it instead of having a really strong odor that I don't like, this one kind of like takes away bad odors, and I really like the scent of this, and it kind of like clears the air. So I don't know, whenever I start something, if I'm working on something or I need to clear whatever energy to really focus into a new one, I do that. I don't know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I burned sage once to get rid of bad vibes, but instead it got rid of me because I had to leave the house for a while because it stunk so bad.
I
was like, am I the bad vibes? Because I just had to go away. I was like, I see why anybody would chase ghosts.
Yeah. Sage is intense. I didn't like my experience with it either. But this, I think you really like.
Okay.
They have it at a lot of places.
Palo Santo.
Yeah, Palo Santo. That we know. So how are you today?
I'm good. It's so nice out.
It's so nice out.
It's not too hot. And yesterday, I actually left the house for the first time in like 2 months.
Are you serious? You haven't left the house?
Well, I have a newborn, so I basically haven't left the house since like January. But I haven't left the house maybe even more than 2 months. It's been a while. You know, wanted to be really safe, and I was very. I'm still a strong believer in stay at home and stay safe. So I left the house for the first time because it was my first Mother's Day, and my partner took me to pick up some Indian food, and we went and we bought, all covered up with gloves and masks and everything. But we went and we bought a lot of plants. So because I've been gardening a lot, and the one thing that I've had trouble getting is new plants. I've been propagating plants, but you know, so we got a ton of plants. So now I'm building a whole thing.
That's awesome. We got a lot of plants too. They're actually sitting on my counter right now.
Cool.
Well, I mean, we planted some, and we planted a lemon tree, and yeah, and it's just been like, it's so strange. I don't really cook that much, and ever since I got herbs, I've been cooking.
Oh yeah.
Maniac.
Well, there's nothing like growing your own stuff. I have the lemon tree that I haven't bought lemons in like 3 years.
I mean, I'm coming to get some, and
you should.
Just so you know,
it's a ridiculous lemon tree.
I'm gonna walk over.
Seriously,
grab a few. But yeah, it's just, you know, it feels like you can make anything that doesn't taste that great, and then you just like sprinkle some basil on top, like fresh basil, and pow, like, oh, I'm Martha Stewart all of a sudden. It's crazy. So it's really given me a lot of, you know, just inspiration. I'm getting like inspired to make good stuff. And
well, that's great. If you ever need any, you know, recommendations, that's basically all I've been doing is cooking.
Really?
I always cooked a lot, but my cat is on the table. She might jump like past. You might see like a cat butt just pass.
I would love it. I'm sure people will have questions to ask the cat.
Cat, yeah.
So you just had a baby.
I did.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm okay. It's been interesting. It's been amazing. I'm good. You know, it's funny, this quarantine stuff's happening at an interesting time. For me, it kind of felt like I was quarantined anyway. So honestly, until, you know, me and my little bubble here, I was quarantined before the quarantine started.
Yeah.
Just being home with my baby. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun.
And you had your first Mother's Day yesterday. That was like.
And I'm really excited to get to gardening today. After this, I'm going to jump out into the garden.
That's.
What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
I have been doing a lot.
Great.
The first little chunk of quarantine, I just kind of tried to embrace it and, you know, really slow down. I don't tend to do that. And sometimes, like, I think my dad and my mom are both very work driven, and I remember them working all the time, and they kind of instilled in us this sense of, you know, dedication to what you do. And I have become a raging workaholic. And it's been, you know, this Corona thing was kind of like the first time I was forced to stop and just completely let go. And it was really beautiful and wonderful to do. And then after a while, I realized, okay, well, now what do I do with all this time?
Yes. The book's behind me. This is like, actually, the shelf is like 6 times what you see. That's what I've been doing too.
Oh, no.
There's just lots of books.
I lost you for a second, but you were pointing at your shelf.
Yeah, just saying that my bookshelf is like 6 times what you're seeing behind me, and I've just been reading, you know, a ton. So
like, what have you been reading? Tell me like a good recommendation.
Oh, I just finished City of Girls, which I really liked.
Okay.
I reread my favorite book, but I mentioned it. This was like a month ago. Pillars of the Earth. Let's see, what else did I finish recently? I read The Water Dancer, which was fantastic, by Ta-Nehisi Coates. A lot of stuff.
You're like Bill Gates right now.
I don't know if these are the things Bill Gates reads. Maybe.
No, I mean,
add him like.
I heard he reads like several books at a time, like 4 or 5 books at a time.
Right. Yes, I do. So, I have to read at least like 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction. Nonfiction is hard for me because I really need to get like sucked into a story, but there's just a lot of knowledge that I want. So usually the perfect combo for me is reading historical fiction, which is, you know, heavily based on true facts. Yeah. So that I kind of get like an interesting tale of real people and characters, but within it, I learn a lot about history. So that's like really interesting. I had one of my favorite authors, Ken Follett, who wrote The Pillars of the Earth, actually wrote the Century trilogy. So it's massive books. I'm gonna see if I have one behind me that I can show you. Here, this is the third one. Edge of Eternity. They're quite big.
Yeah, I can.
But they're a happy font. So his Century trilogy is, the first one it's a historical fiction. The first one is in the First World War. Second one is Second World War, and the third one takes place in the Cold War. It's always like the children of the ones in the first one sort of take the story on, and you learn about like all the different countries. Anyway, it's really brilliant. So that's kind of what I like. But but there's a lot of knowledge that I want, so I managed to get through some nonfiction, but I have to read a fiction book at the same time to balance it out.
Gotcha. Yeah, with me, it's the opposite. It's really, really, really hard for me to get sucked into fiction.
Really?
Yeah, I usually, like right now, I'm reading 4 nonfiction books.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's always knowledge. It's always like, yeah, because if I want fiction, I'll watch a movie.
Okay, I see what
you
you're
know
saying.
what I mean? It's hard for me to read, like, especially in English. It's always been hard for me to read in Hebrew and in English.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's really draining on my eyes, and it takes a lot of concentration, and my mind is always at a million different things. And the only way that I will read is if I'm getting something out of it. Like, it wouldn't be just a pastime and like hear a fun story or an interesting story. It would be like, oh, I need to know this. Like, I don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
But my boyfriend is like yours. I like you. He loves fiction stuff. I need to get into that because I think it's really important to like develop your imagination, and I think that comes more from, you know, those books.
I also just don't watch a lot of TV, so I get a lot of my fiction from books instead.
Okay, so that's a good leeway into what this is all about.
Right.
So speaking of television, I've been like, basically I asked whoever is out there that's watching if they had any questions for us, and you know, I've been thinking a lot about this crazy time and what we can do to try to pass the time and help those who might not be as fortunate as people in LA that can go out and hike, and you know, and I decided to make this Insta Live thing situation going on, and
good for you.
And it's been really fun. But I was thinking a lot about who I should have and guest with me, and I immediately thought of you, not just because you're wonderful and gorgeous and, you know, talented and sweet.
I'm gonna go blush in a corner.
Go blush in a corner with your cats. But
sure, she
also,
blushes, you just can't see it. Yeah.
I can see it. You're pink. But also because we have so much in common. And we both come from the same gorgeous country, and we both work in the same amazing
other gorgeous country.
place. And we both have been incredibly lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to tell stories for a living, which, you know, I'm very grateful for, and I'm sure that you are as well. And I asked people what they wanted to ask, and I'll throw the first question at you.
Yeah.
And actually, it's at both of us. How did we meet? And I need to ask this because I'm not sure.
Wait. Okay, here's a funny thing about Israelis. We tend to just all sort of know each other, even if we'd never met.
Yeah.
Especially Israelis in the industry. But definitely just Israelis. We can't, right? Is that not, I mean, every country we go to, sort of any Israeli who's been to India at the same time will have probably met. You know what I mean? Any Israeli who's been to Thailand at the same time, they're like, oh yeah, I know that guy. You know, it's so funny. We're such a small country.
Yeah.
And it's like one big family. So I probably felt like I knew you before I actually knew you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
but I think, you know what? remember when, who was it? Doron Paz, I think.
I don't.
Didn't we go to like some arcade or something?
Yes. So that was my guess. That was
yes,
what
I think that was it.
Yes.
Some other Israelis were in town, and they invited us. And
yes.
I think but I already felt like I knew you, basically.
Yes. I mean, I knew of you.
Exactly.
We haven't officially, technically met or shook hands or whatever, but
yeah,
there was like a birthday party, and
I don't know what it was. Yeah.
I and my friends, I was invited through my friends who were hosting Gdolim Chaim.
Another one Paz. What did I say? Oded Paz.
Oded. Yeah. So I didn't even know him. He knew my friends, Adi Himmelbloy and Nadav.
Right.
And so they invited me to come, and we met there at the arcade, which was a lot of fun.
That was great.
It was really
I didn't even know that thing existed, and everybody was like, "What? You don't know about this place?" And I'm like, "No, but I live here now."
Yeah. But I live here now. What's it called? Something Dave and Buster's?
Yes.
Dave and Buster's? Something like that. Anyway, so that's how we met officially, but we have known of each other's presence way before that.
Yes. And that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. And so I think a lot of people are really curious, and I've been getting this on my own, just a lot of questions from people who come from a small place and want to go into, a big home and have big dreams. And, I feel like we both have gone through that journey, and I'm really curious to ask you, like, how did that happen for you? Like, what made you, I don't even know. When did you move to LA?
Well, I actually started working here before I moved here. I didn't have any plans to leave Israel. I was living in Israel, and I didn't think, hang on, my cat's trying to get in a cabinet.
Okay, I'm going to read some of these. Petra, I love you. Thought you should know that.
Hello, I am Italy. So yeah, I didn't have any plans to work here honestly, because I never thought it would ever happen. I didn't think it was even a possibility. It was so far from even being a dream, because it was like, I just said this in my last live as well, where I never guessed this would ever happen. And sort of one thing led to another. And I ended up coming here. My partner, Artem, persuaded me to come here just for a couple of days because he had some meetings in New York. So he was like, let's just go. And then I ended up someone introduced me to an entertainment lawyer who's still my lawyer, and I had some meetings with managers, and then they wanted to work with me. And then I had a manager, and then I sort of went back to Israel and self-taped a lot and came out here. This was like 7 years ago. And then I came here for pilot season for like 2 weeks because I had a theater commitment with Teatron Beersheva that I really wanted to do. And I ended up booking a lead on a CW pilot, like #1 on the call sheet, which I didn't know what that meant. And then I suddenly flew to Budapest and filmed for a month and had like horseback riding lessons and fencing lessons and waltzing lessons. And I was like, what? This is an insane, what's happening to my life? And then that didn't end up getting picked up. And I was like, well, that was a fun adventure. It's never going to happen again. But then off tape, somehow I booked another CW show called Rain, which filmed in Toronto. So I was back and forth from I was between Toronto, Los Angeles, and Israel for, I don't know, like 8 months or something. And then landed back in LA for the next pilot season and booked Jane the Virgin, which is a show that I was filming for 5 years up till a year ago. And that was, completely life altering. And that's what really moved me here. I actually only moved to Los Angeles after Jane the Virgin's pilot got picked up. That's when I was like, okay. And then I had like 2 weeks to pack up my things and go.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'm here ever since. And what about you? I don't actually know your story of how you ended up here.
Wow. I had no clue. This is crazy. Wait, what's the name of the pilot that didn't get made? Like what's it called?
The Selection. It's based on a really popular series of books called Selection, and I played America Singer, and it was incredible. Just some of my closest friends were from that pilot. I met them there, and it was just the wildest ride of my life. It was
wow.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I saw it. I did. I loved it. I thought it was great. But it's, it has, sometimes it's just like inner workings of why something gets picked up or why something doesn't. Sometimes the same network have like two things that are very similar. Yeah, all kinds of reasons. It wasn't because it wasn't good. And thank God, knock on wood, they seem to like me because they cast me for so many things, and CW now are like my second family.
Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing. I had no idea.
Never actually spoke about all this, did we?
No. I didn't. I had no clue. All I know is that you've been killing it, and you've been.
Likewise.
Thank you. Just dominating the world with Jane the Virgin, being such a amazing, successful show, and
it's like the dream job.
Yeah. And you guys shot it here in LA, right?
We got to shoot in LA, which never happens.
I know.
It was just in every way just the best thing. We have an incredible cast and crew and writers, and everyone involved was just wonderful. We didn't have like one bad egg, none. It was all just really kind, loving, graceful, happy people, and incredibly talented. And then the show itself, like the content, was brilliant, and changed, I think, many people's lives, not just mine, but the viewers. Yeah. And yeah, it was a dream.
That's amazing.
I can only hope that my jobs are as fun.
Yeah,
Wait, so tell me your story. I don't know your story.
Mine is a little less fortunate. Like it always shocks me when people tell these stories of like, yeah, so I came in and on my first, pilot season, I booked my lead in the pilot, and then I came like
it was pure luck. Like that.
But, it's like I had to have heard these stories to have been so naive to make me drop everything, fly to New York, and assume that that's just what's going to happen to me.
Oh, wait, when was this?
I came to America like 14 years ago, packed everything, had zero experience with acting, zero connections in America, zero people I knew, very little money.
You hadn't acted in Israel before?
No, nothing.
So what made you, know that this is what you wanted to do?
I've always known it. I've always, I would act for anyone who was weak enough to fight me. So I would hey, sit down. I'm putting a play for you, like as a kid. And my dad, anyone that would listen. And then it was kind of like being in the closet. Like I really wanted to act, but I didn't know how to say it without sounding like, like a loser. Like who doesn't want to be a famous actress? You know what I mean? And that was my situation. And until I just packed my bags and said, I'm gonna go make my dreams come true. And then it took me a long
That was incredibly brave, and you were like a baby at that point.
Yeah, I was 17 and a half. I knew nothing about anything. I had nothing. Like I didn't know anything. And
That's amazing. That's so brave.
Crazy, right? But
no, then I don't think it's crazy. I think like crazy, like wow. Not crazy like, are you insane? Like crazy like, that's incredibly brave. Like that's amazing. It's
like it's like when I see my boyfriend get on like a snowboard and jumps high and like not being afraid to fall and like crash his skull, and I go, you're crazy and brave, but that's crazy. You're gonna die. What are you doing? Like, I think there has to be a sense of a little bit of craziness when you go and jump like that into whatever it is that you might fall in.
I think actors in general are very brave, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows it's an incredibly difficult profession to succeed in. And many people are not fortunate enough to have their families supporting them or like, you know, having their backs. And they still go and pursue their dream. And I just think, and also not just that, but even the acting work itself is sort of very brave, because you just have to like be willing to open your heart and show it to the world.
Absolutely. In so many ways, it's so invasive and
you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, and it's exhausting. And I think the braver you are, the better actor you are, the more you'll take risks and the more you'll be vulnerable and open. And that's not an easy thing to do. But yeah, so I basically came here and just started. So
you started in New York and then eventually moved to LA?
Started in New York, did nothing really other than just like saving money, working at restaurants, you know, figure out this whole visa thing. It's
yeah, anybody who comes from any other place knows that that's the tricky part.
Yeah, there's so many obstacles along the way before even getting to the real obstacle of like, okay, now I have to prove my talent. Like there's so many other things before you get to that. So I think for me, it's, you know, and I'm still climbing. It's never ending, you know, the journey is still going on. But I have been very, very fortunate. And recently I was working on a show that just got, cut short because of the corona. But I was working on.
Did you finish filming your season?
Wait, what?
Did you finish filming a season?
No. So we were filming Lucifer. And up until like we had one more week to finish the season. And
like one episode.
We were on the final episode of the season.
Oh God.
And then corona kind of like kicked into gear and we had to shut down. But it's okay. I'm sure we'll come back into it and finish it off strong. Hopefully when things get back to normal. But the cool thing about Lucifer that I didn't know connected us, because I haven't watched Jane the Virgin. I apologize. I haven't had the time. I'm sure it's fantastic. I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah. In my humble opinion. In my totally non-biased opinion. It's brilliant.
I'm sure that it is beyond brilliant. But one of the questions that I got, and I wanted to ask you was, what was it like for each of you to play bi pansexual women?
Oh, I didn't know you had that in Lucifer as well.
I didn't know you had that in Jane the Virgin.
Great.
Great.
Well, you go first. Answer.
I go first. I mean, here's what I always say. I get this question all the time. For me, it wasn't anything that I had to like address differently or like, oh, she's bisexual. I'm gonna do it this way. Like, there's no, they're all the same. They have the same heartbeat and they want the same things and they're moved in the same way and they fall in love and they get hurt. And it's, I didn't address it differently. It does come with a responsibility. So I think my only responsibility was to try to make it as authentic and truthful for me as possible. That's my rule. Anytime I do anything creative, and hopefully it translates. That's all I can say. What about you?
Well, pretty much the same. Yeah. Everybody was asking what it was like. You know, and I'm like, well, first of all, it was made incredibly easy for me because my partner was Rosario Dawson. So I'm like, who's not in love with Rosario Dawson? Yeah. I mean, I got her for like 2 seasons, and I mean, any chance you get to act with Rosario Dawson, your job's made easy.
Wow.
Because she's brilliant. So, yeah, I had an amazing partner, but also, again, exactly like you said, there's no, I mean, any romantic partner you have, your job is to make it authentic. And with the beautiful thing of being able to play a bisexual woman on the TV show was just the response that I got from people who feel seen and heard and you know, appreciated so much. The best responses I ever got were people who told me, I watched the show religiously with my parents, and for the first time they understood me, which was, you know, that being able to have that kind of effect on anybody's life was just, you know, amazing for me. Yeah, so things like that, to know that you made people feel seen and heard and made them feel things, and that's so it made me very happy. And also the way the show handled it was so organic and beautiful. Petra didn't have some big sort of coming out moment. It was just very organic. It just felt very real, and it just made a lot of sense. And I was incredibly happy to see that this is where it was going. Yeah, it was.
That's awesome. That I had no idea. That's really, really cool. It's always great when we get to give other people a voice.
Yes.
We don't always feel like they're being heard.
Yep. Agreed.
I mean, we got so many questions, but maybe we can like let peeps like bring in their charm over here. If you guys have any questions, I see a lot of Hebrew requests.
Well, this is languages I don't understand, some of them.
We're looking at the same thing.
Do you want to add someone?
I don't think we can't add there can't be added anyone when there's 2 people on Insta Live.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we'd eventually end up with a tiny screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone's asking, how is it working on Prison Break?
How is working on Prison Break? Great. I got to work in Morocco, which is where my ancestors are from, and I felt like I was coming home. Everyone was smoking and it was crazy hot. I felt like I was in Israel.
I'm dying to go to Morocco. That's like on my bucket list.
Oh my God.
What? Ask a good question that I didn't see.
Okay.
See a line from Anishka. What do you mean? I don't remember lines from Anishka. Don't scare me. Let's see. People are just saying hi, guys. Oh, what's the hardest thing about acting?
Wow.
There's a lot, surprisingly. I mean, it's not coal mining, you know, but emotionally, there's a lot that can, first of all, physically, there's hard stuff sometimes as well, right? Did you ever do your own like stunt work and stuff where you just have to be thrown around running in the middle of the night through some mosquito infested swamp?
Yeah, I have done a lot of those. That's how I
injured numerous times, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the emotionally draining part is probably when you come home after like a 16-hour day, your 4th 16-hour work day in a row, and you've just been through one scene of hysterical laughter, another 3 scenes of like crying because your, you know, TV parent as if died, or all kinds of things, and then you come home and you're like, oh, I gotta make myself dinner and go to bed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it can be very, very demanding. For me, I'm super hypersensitive, and you know, I take my job very seriously, sometimes too seriously, and so when I work on a really intricate character, it sometimes takes a toll on if the character is going through a challenge, I will try to put myself in their shoes and actually experience it. And I've had insomnia problems, and you know, like sometimes it's hard for me to shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
that itch, right, when you get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it carries on, and like it can be a really dangerous thing if you don't know how to control it. But I'm getting better at it as I grow older. I realize I don't have to just like, you know, suicide on everything that I do. Like I don't have to kill myself.
By the way, for those who don't know, that's a direct translation from Hebrew.
I knew you would. I
do that as well.
ממש, אני ממש כאילו כל הזמן מתרגמת, כאילו אנשים מבינים מה אני אומרת, but they do. Like even if you would say I don't have to suicide myself, they'll be like, okay, she's crazy, but I
right. But that makes sense in Hebrew. It's something. Do you know what we should discuss? Funny things that people say in Hebrew that make no sense in English. Now, by the way, I have a French father and an Austrian mother, so I also do this for French and German. I have like things that I say that work in French and I say them in English, and it's not right.
Are you telling me you speak a gazillion languages right now?
No. I was born in Paris, so I speak some French. And my mother is Austrian, so I spent some time there when I was growing up. So I speak a little bit, very little bit of German.
Wow.
But so no, but Hebrew and English are my mother tongues. But like lo roe ba'inayim.
That's right? A good one.
Doesn't see with his eyes.
Yep.
That's a direct translation. How do I explain what it means?
It just means like doesn't see with his eyes means like he see. It's gonna be another Insta live just to explain that.
I know. It's like he's headstrong. He's going for something. He doesn't care what happens.
Yeah.
He doesn't see with his eyes.
He doesn't see the risks.
Exactly.
The risks. He's just like going with his body and with
yeah.
And, you know.
I had an interview once where I explained tzotzot lagabot.
Tzotzot lagabot. I'm not even gonna try that one.
Right. That means bombs to the eyebrows.
Or like eyebrows on fleek, no? Or that's literally about the eyebrows. It is.
How do you, what's the Hebrew one for that? What do you mean? What's eyebrows on fleek?
I mean, no, but like, there's no, it's like, achla gabot.
That just means good eyebrows. But I think that's very literal. Achla gabot.
Like, when would you ever say that?
I don't know.
Oh,
you know, I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of new slang that's developed in Israel since I moved here that I'm not up to date with. I know people say pee-pee a lot, which literally just means pee. Which means that you find something funny enough that you're peeing. But people don't say all that. They just say pee.
But yeah, there's a lot of those. Like kal, easy.
Right.
That's a big one. Like, oh, are you coming tonight? Kal.
I don't think I even know that one.
No, you don't?
No one said that to me.
My brother and sisters, like, it's so annoying because, like, I'll come at a visit, learn all the new slang, right? And then come back the next visit, like, and then, like, now I'm using it because it's like, oh, I got this now. And then it's so old school. I feel so old.
That's what's happening.
So
that's why I'm giving you tzotzot lagabot. It's like from the 90s or something. It's not.
Wow.
But I was never up to date with slang in any language. I think I'm always using things from like 10 years ago, no matter where I am.
Well, I don't know. I think he was a big one for us right now. That was like it's a good reminder. I'll just start writing it for Americans.
Yeah.
Say.
You know what else is becoming really popular here now? Bamba.
Bamba.
Let me tell you, it's becoming a thing.
Oh,
I mean, all Israelis know bamba. Bamba is like the basic snack you get in Israel when you're a kid. It's like, it's a peanut, like puffy peanut thing. And every parent I know now is like texting me, hey, do you know Bamba? I'm going to give it to my kid to help with like peanut allergies or something. And I'm like, of course, freaking know Bamba. I grew up on Bamba. I'm like 90% Bamba. And it's becoming a thing.
Actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you what happened yesterday at Trader Joe's. It's
Bamba?
It's really quite disgusting. It's like one, there's two.
Hang on there. Wait a minute. I gotta see Bamba.
There's four. I mean, there's an addiction. I can't lie about it. I'm not trying to hide it. Fully addicted.
Okay.
Bamba la Shilton. La Shilton. You see that size? Oh my God.
For these.
In 2 seconds. Yala. I think that's a great idea. Breakfast. I love it.
Hungry anyway. It's second breakfast time. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, this is Bamba.
Okay. If you guys
Beautiful
don't
Israeli invention.
It's actually like a healthy snack.
Someone is saying זה חיקוי של במבה.
לא, תקשיבו, זה עשוי מאותם חברה. This is the thing that makes it, כן.
They just changed their package?
Yeah, so they changed the package to suit the American market, but it's the same.
Brilliant.
Right. Yeah, they own it.
It has like their own kind of thing going. This is how awesome it is.
This is amazing.
In the States.
It's actually healthy, you guys. I mean, I don't know if it's not the healthiest thing, but it's definitely better than Cheetos or chips or any of those like really heavily greased stuff. It's just made out of peanuts and
don't even have a peanut allergy. It's all peanuts.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a peanut allergy, knock yourself out. You know what's missing on this bag? The Bamba baby.
I know.
Careful.
I wonder why they would take that off. I mean, for this one too.
Yeah. It's a shame. Maybe it didn't work in American markets. I don't know.
I guess not. I guess like maybe they're trying to be safe so that if a baby is allergic, they don't.
Oh, that makes sense.
The mom gives it.
Not accidentally like give it to babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna give it to my baby.
No.
She hasn't eaten food yet. Well, no, she's only eating milk.
Oh my God, she's so tiny.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
Ariel.
Ah. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's actually that's my baby name.
No, really?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, I've always wanted an Ariel because of the Little Mermaid. I was like obsessed with the Little Mermaid when I was little.
I spell it differently.
How do you spell it?
Arielle.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Some people say Ariel and not Ariel.
נכון.
בעברית אותו דבר.
Yeah. אריאל, איזה שם יפה, איזה כיף, איזה יופי. Well, I know you probably have to go back to your baby and cat and man.
Garden. Baby, cat and garden.
And that's it. That's all you need for.
Well, I'm actually gonna sit here for the next 10 minutes just eating my Bamba bag.
Eating your Bamba, and that sounds like a beautiful day. I actually will go and plant some stuff today. Get that out of the way. But I'm so glad I got to do this with you.
Me too. And thank you so much for having me on. This is a wonderful idea.
This was so fun, and I hope that we were able to like answer some of you guys' questions and
the Bamba sales.
And yeah, I know.
I want Bamba to send me some free Bamba bags for this. Yeah. Right? I think next time we do this, I want to see like crates of Bamba behind you.
We actually, that's not a bad idea.
Bamba sponsors.
Way too much money on Bamba.
Like sponsors. Bamba, what's it called? Sponsored by Bamba?
Yes.
We'll have an Instagram live sponsored by Bamba.
I would be so proud to be the official spokesperson of Bamba.
Dude.
Enterprise.
With the amount I eat.
I know. Okay, I adore you.
Me too.
I want to thank you for coming in today. I know you have a life going on there, so I really appreciate it. And I know everyone was so excited to have you come on today.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, and I got a million questions, but we kind of like went all around the place.
Sorry, that's my ADD brain. It does that.
No, that's how it should be. It should be like super organic and flowy. But stay safe. If you guys need anything, we're right here.
Yeah, and I have my lemon tree waiting for you. Just let me know.
I will.
For real.
I love you. You're the sweetest.
Thank you for having me, love. Thanks, everybody, for signing in.
Thanks, guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening.